MJ here again. You know, it's uh, there's always something wrong with every live streaming app. Everyone you use, YouTube is good, but you know the way they implement the live stream and don't save the comments. It's like it is a way to implement live streaming, and of course you can use OBS or any other kind of encoder too. You know, and have to do desktop stuff, broadcast stuff. But it would be nice if there was an app that did all of that. That was a really fine standalone mobile app with comments saved and stuff. And that's really why. Hey Matthew, how you doing? That's really why I was so hot on Broadcast, because they were developing a desktop version. I really hope that our company can take, you know, responsibility for Broadcast and get them back on the air. Anyway, that's what we're looking at doing. That's all I can tell you about it right now. But every streaming app has some kind of quirk or some kind of weird thing, like using Streamlabs. It starts the stream in private mode, so people don't get notifications because it's a private stream, and then you edit it and then make it public and then add the title that you want after the stream starts. So I think people aren't getting notifications when I'm using Streamlabs. It's kind of silly. I need to address that with them. I need to send them another email. They're looking at the comments problem right now, why it doesn't burn to the stream, and I sent them my mobile device, you know, information. Fortunately, I have a very common device, and so it's probably a problem that if they fix it for me, it'll be fixed for everybody. Excuse me. But the program itself works pretty well, but I need to send them an email about setting it up in the beginning, being able to enter the title and make sure it's public, you know, or private if you want it private, whatever, however you want it, before you press go. It talks about creating an event or resuming an event or making a persistent stream and all that stuff. See, YouTube does stuff that nobody else does like that. So it's a little confusing sometimes whether you want a persistent stream or not. And hey Rob, how are you? Nice to have you with us. Yeah, okay, Henry said he got notified. Well, that's the YouTube app for you. I'm using the YouTube app. So anyway, I was eating some wasabi peanuts and they're all gone. And I was drinking some Schweppes soda, and it's all gone too. The way they yell, just all these girls yell. It's crazy. Anyway, I'm starting another fast tomorrow. I'm not drinking alcohol right now, and I'm gonna abstain from alcohol during the fast. I'm gonna see if I can get myself down below 115, substantially below 115, so I can stay at 115. That shouldn't be too hard to do. I'm going to give myself 3 days, see what I can do in 3 days. Yeah, that's, you know, anyway, I don't normally like post my progress, you know, on Twitter, but there's a guy that I've been trying to encourage to lose weight, and he's doing pretty well, and so he's using Line. He's sending me his weight in the morning. He weighs in. I weigh in the morning too, and we send each other the weight. So I do a normal amount. I just drink when I'm thirsty. I drink coffee in the morning, and I make some tea throughout the day, and I drink just plain water or maybe bubble water, but it's a normal amount, nothing special. Sometimes my wife will take my kid to this tea restaurant. They've got a really, really nice wonton soup, and they eat the wontons. My kid likes the wontons, and she takes them out, and I'll drink the bear soup like that. And I do have several big freezer bags full of bone broth that my wife made for me before. So, hey Bernardo, how you doing? Nice to have you with us. Thanks for joining. I got a fair amount of bone broth in the freezer that I use too. That's actually a really nice supplement to take when you're fasting. And part of the problem. According to Dr. Fong, and I found this to be true for me, is it is good tasting. Broth is good tasting. I tend to get headaches, and Dr. Fong said that it's probably from lower salt intake suddenly, because we're used to a certain amount of salt in food, high salt content basically these days with the diet, modern diet, and suddenly you're not eating and your salt level drops off. And he found that if he gave patients some bone broth with salt in it, that their headaches went away. That's not anything conclusive, but it does work. So I haven't had any bone broth for a while. Yeah, Henry says, yeah, headaches and cramps if your sodium drops. Well, okay, well, there you go. And so I haven't tried the bone broth in a while. I've been just, surviving okay, but I think I'll talk to my wife about defrosting one of those freezer bags and putting it in the pan for me. It's so loud tonight. You guys remember this place? Usually I'm facing this way and the camera is like more around that way, because the tree is over there. See, you guys probably remember that. Anyway, but the lights are broken, and I was going to take a look at it, fix it. I look up there, they got some kind of control box. It's really complicated. I don't have a drawing, so I said, nah, forget it. I can just buy a new one. But yeah, anyway, I'm at the coffee shop, and lo and behold, there's nobody here. They're all inside. They think it's cold, so. Yep, a long time ago I sat here. I had a lot of memories of broadcast, and we did, if I'm not mistaken, we did the celebrity impressions contest right here at this coffee shop. Yeah, I would really like to get a hold of that video again. That was great. That's one of the things I'm looking forward to doing in the future, is hopefully restoring those videos that we did back to the server so you can look at them again. That'd be nice. And updating the website to make embedding, so forth, more available to everybody if they want, and a little bit better format. So there's work to be done. But when I first started the stream, I was moaning and groaning a little bit. If it gets under 25, the locals freeze. Yes, they do. They do. Well, these people don't sweat that much in the summertime because they're really used to the heat, and so even if it goes down. Today I was walking around all day with I got one of my batik shirts on, its short sleeve, and I was walking around all day, and a lot of breeze, and people were looking at me like I was nuts, but I mean, it's like springtime. It's about 19, maybe 18, and the relative humidity is not too bad. You can see the wind blowing the camera, blowing them out. The relative humidity is not too bad tonight, so it's not like bone chilling at all like it would be normally at this time of the year. It's a little bit unseasonably nice, actually. I think next week I'm probably going to be back on my leather jacket, because the leather jacket is really good as a windbreaker. But yeah, this place right here, we used to do a lot of broadcast sessions here. I was just saying though, everything over 15 is t-shirt weather for a Swede, Henry says. Yeah, I believe that. I believe that. And as long as there's no wind, you can drop down even way below that with a t-shirt on, as long as there's no wind. Because I used to go to my backyard when it was snowing. I mean, after snow, and just sit in the backyard with a t-shirt on in the sun. It was beautiful. No bugs, no sweating. It was fantastic, as long as there was no wind. But we're talking about, earlier I was talking about, I was moaning and groaning about the fact that every live stream app has some problem, and YouTube definitely has its issues with starting streams, stopping streams. I was using Streamlabs, and it told me it just quit. Streamlabs just quit for some reason, and went back to the blank screen. And so I restarted it, and I resumed the stream, and then it said the stream was inactive after I was on for a few minutes, and I was like, well, maybe I better end it. And then I went back and looked at it and found out that indeed it was active, and it was recording, and it was processing. So it was such an abrupt ending. I just deleted it. Don't worry about it. And nobody was viewing it anyway, so it's okay. It was just me talking. No sweat. Nothing lost there. But the way YouTube does live streaming, it's a little bit strange. You know, of course, you can use a desktop broadcasting app like Wirecast or OBS or anyone you want. The thing is, that's really why I was hot on Broadcast, because they were developing a desktop version, and I think they were probably the only app that would be able to do everything that you need to do within their sphere, you know. Streamlabs isn't very functioning, Henry says. He says, he's asking me, oh, come on. He says, have you tried any others with burn-in capability? I don't know any others with burn-in capability. I have not found any. I don't know. If you know some, please let me know. That is not normally an option. People do that on OBS because what they do is they do like a CLS browser grab of the pop-out chat window in YouTube Live. That's what they're doing, and and then they size it, and then they make it transparent, you know. And it's once you set it, it's a little pain in the neck to set it up, but once you set it up, it works okay. But yeah, Rob says, I sure miss the live audio comments. I know, me too. And I'm just going to tell you that we're doing everything we can do to bring Broadcast back. And, you know, a lot of people were laughing. With OBS, you got to bring a whole studio down to a coffee shop, or at least a notebook computer, you know. It'll work on a notebook computer with a webcam. What can I tell you? Yeah, for that matter, it would be relatively simple, but I weaned myself off of notebook computers quite a while ago because I don't need them for travel anymore like I used to. But anyway, I just use my tablet these days. It does everything I need. But yeah, the audio comments really were fantastic. We could do like a talk show. It was really great. You're gonna interview somebody and people could ask actual questions, you know, in their own voice. It surely was nice. So we're doing everything we can do to bring it back. And if we can bring it back, a good thing is that all the things that I said I was gonna do, all the things that I said in past Periscopes, about what I think Periscope could do to stop the troll problem and the pornoscope problem and all that, all those things we're going to do with Broadcast. So that's the plan. That's the plan. So I hope we can do it. The indications are that we can. It's going to take time. But anyway, the idea is to have a troll-free, child pornography-free, and pornography itself, just general pornography-free platform, and that is achievable. And the answer is money. You make money the barrier between trolls, because like with Periscope, it's just too easy to download the app and make trouble. What you need is a pro version where you can't broadcast unless you pay, you know, for the pro version, and the pro version is cheap, but hi Chi-Chi, it's cheap enough that everybody can afford it. But if you lose the account because of abuse, then you have to buy it again from another, you know, Google Play or another iTunes account, and that's the hitch. So yeah, well, Rob says he likes hearing others' voices rather than contributing on his own. I understand. And it is interesting to see those too. Henry says, yeah, if they have to pay, 99% of the trolls will disappear. Exactly. What I would do is, if I was in charge, I would give it away to all the scopers that I already know. All you guys, you know, would get like a promo code that you can just get it for free. And then, you know, the general public, the people that I would have to worry about is the general public, and nobody that I know, I wouldn't burden them with that. But it's just that it's not to make money. It's to make a barrier, you know. And so the basic app, you still would have to log in with something like Twitter or Facebook or Google or VK, which is cool. And you know, you still have to log in to comment, but you can look at all the broadcasts that you want for nothing. You just can't broadcast yourself. So that prevents, you know, somebody from coming home from a party and saying, hey, let's see how many views I can get by flashing, that kind of stuff. And you just make it really adamant, you know, in the terms of service and in all the documentation about the app, that things like, you know, your little toke sesh is not going to fly on broadcast. And you know, all the things you used to do on Periscope to get super hearts and that kind of stuff is not going to fly on broadcast either. That's what I would do if I was the boss. So anyway, we'll see what happens. And you know, that kind of policy is in line with what they do anyway. You know, they absolutely abhorred the masturbation ones that they had. You know, a couple of times some idiot would get on and start doing that, and it's like they got no shame or no sense. And so they abhorred that stuff, so they got no problems, you know, trying to maintain the trolls and the content. So yeah, there's way too much drug use going on Periscope, and Jeff Goldberg he's sharing a lot of these like children's scopes, and anyhow,
这个你敢吃吗？
这个是什么？这个是什么？
这个好吃。
太甜了。
不是酸的，酸的。
谢谢，不要，对，谢谢你，谢谢。He offered me a piece of fruit, and I said it was too sweet. He said no, it's sour, but I didn't really want it. So he said look at the comments that are being, you know, sent to these kids in the scope, and I took a quick look at it, and I saw like a 12-year-old girl vaping. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I feel dirty just looking at this stuff. Henry says, yeah, I reported an old guy on broadcast pleasuring himself once, but that was the only time I've seen questionable content there. Yeah, you didn't see too much there. And they did take it seriously when you reported stuff. When you report stuff on broadcast, they did take it down. And but they're a small staff. That leads me to another topic, because monitoring is very important. Facebook hired something like 3,000 people to monitor, and you know, broadcast doesn't need that many people now, but if it becomes, you know, the go-to live stream for people that are sick of Periscope and sick of these other apps that are, you know, just ridiculous dancing girls and stuff, and you know, want to do serious broadcasting, or people who want to watch serious broadcasters, you're eventually going to need a large number of moderators, you know, of monitors, and so there has to be a budget for that. And that's one of the things that I'm talking about in this whole thing when we're laying out the plan, is to have a big enough budget to be able to hire people and to give them discretion. And of course, you know, there's this fair amount of trust there too, that they won't just kill somebody's scope because they don't like the content, even if it's, you know, if it's not indecent. It could be, say for example, it could be political, and maybe they don't, you know, align themselves to that viewpoint. They might want to kill it. So we have to be careful of, you know, there is a limit. It sounds funny, but there is a limit to censorship. You just want to stop the undesirable content, which is largely the sexual content, troll content, and drug use. That would be my definition. And I think people, you know, should be allowed to say whatever they want for a viewpoint, as long as they don't try to incite harm. You know, like, I guess you would call it hate speech. But you know, it's a fine line. It really is. A lot of people are getting angry at Twitter because they they don't do enough in one area, they do too much in another area. It's hard to please everybody, so I understand I'm opening up a big can of worms. But as long as you make everything clear in the as long as you make everything clear in the terms of service, you know. Since drug use is legal to some extent in America, can they remove that? I don't know. I don't know. In my opinion, it doesn't. For me, it doesn't matter if it's legal or not, because like here in Taiwan, they have binglong chewing, you know, and it is a health risk, and I think that it may, you know, influence other people to do it, and so that may not be a good idea. But now, on the other hand, how many scopes have you seen me drinking? But you don't see me getting, you know, drunk and falling on the floor. Although drinking alcohol is a totally different thing than smoking something. So KAT, like cat leaves. I don't know. It's betel nut is actually betel. Did I say binglong? Binglong is a Chinese. I'm sorry. It's betel nut. It's a nut from a type of palm tree. Sorry, I said it in Chinese. Yeah, betel nut. BETEL. Anyway, so we don't even know what the effects of vaping are going to be, so they made it illegal in Taiwan. The reason that I think, the real reason that I think that some of those activities should be banned is because they're transmitted to countries where it is illegal. You know, for example, some countries will do like KAT, Henry's saying leaf is a leaf that they chew in Africa, and it makes you high and suppresses hunger. Kind of sounds like betel nut. But truck drivers eat it here to keep them awake and alert. You know, it makes your mouth red and rots your teeth, and increases your chance of cancer if you smoke by 40 times. So, hey, it is Ann. How are you? Yeah, finally caught us live here. Thank you. Thanks for joining. For example, in some countries, like I've seen on Thailand and TV, if they show a drama and the guy pulls a gun, it's mosaic. The guy lights a cigarette, it's mosaic. You know, they block those things out. I saw a show where a guy raised a knife like this, and it was mosaic. You know, I couldn't even tell what it was. I realized it was a knife later. Any movie that's imported, you know, that they show, they have somebody in the control room that's already set up a program to chase all this stuff, you know. So anyway, pixelated, yeah. Well, glad to hear it, and welcome. And that's the problem that I have with live streaming those illegal activities to places like that. You know, guys smoking dope, and it's legal where he is, but he's streaming it to a country where it's not, and it may get the viewer in trouble. I don't know. But then again, like I said, you know, I drink on scope. And you know what? The thing is originally the broadcast team was against showing people drinking. And I talk a lot about whiskey and whiskey and rum flavors and stuff like that. And to some, it may seem like I'm encouraging them to drink alcohol. So it's a fine line, you know. Henry says, but you don't get hammered on camera. Yeah, right. And you also have seen me say, okay, now I'm going to stop because I've run out of my, you know, mixer, and I have a certain predetermined point and things like that. Yeah, I try to keep it, you know, modest. Sometimes what happens to me is if I'm, and you may have noticed that after I drink, sometimes it relaxes me so much I get tired. I want to sleep, and sometimes it affects me that way. Of course, I'm not driving my car. I'm riding my bike. I would never sit here and drink this stuff that I drink and go hop in my car and drive somewhere. There's no way. So when I'm drinking at some place, you know, I'm off duty for everything. I'm off duty for my, you know, wife and kid, and I don't have to, you know, drive them anywhere or do anything like that. So, but yeah, so it is a fine line. You know, you got to be careful. because in the old days on TV, you'd watch the Dean Martin show, and he'd have, you know, whiskey in one hand and cigarette in the other hand right on TV, and what could you do? So, one thing, you know, you really have to be careful of in this business is a holier than thou attitude, you know, where you start dictating to other people. But I think having a clear-cut set of rules at the beginning and having a very clear yet straightforward dialogue, you know, on the website, on the app, telling people specifically what's, you know, allowed and what's not, I think, and plus the pro version, I think you're going to eliminate a lot of the problems. And let me tell you, I am completely open to suggestions, so, or they dictate to you. And what we're talking about is, we're talking about if we can bring broadcast back and resurrect it and, you know, take over the operation of it. So I'm putting together a proposal to do that. And it's going to take time. But, and talking about what would we do. See, like, for years, you know, me and other scopers have been talking on Periscope, like how to get rid of the trolls and how to get rid of this and that and the other thing. I have a lot of different ideas. And I developed a pretty interesting concept called shared blocking. And I even pitched it to Periscope, and of course they ignored it. But I talked with my programming friend about it, and he said, excuse me, he said that it was a viable plan. You couldn't get it to work. You mean you couldn't watch it, or you couldn't broadcast because Eric's phone wouldn't broadcast either, but he could watch it. So I'm wondering if it was permission settings or something like that. So professional trolls are the problem. Yep. Yep. But I don't think most of them are professional. I think most of them are just guys sitting on the toilet, you know, at work time and break in certain countries and looking for women to pleasure themselves to while they look at. You know, that's what I think's going on most of the time. The way they talk, the way they act. Granted, there are people who look for trouble, right? Couldn't get it. You said you couldn't get broadcast to let you watch any. Wow, that's weird. Okay. Well, that's something that would have to be addressed. But whoops, excuse me. See, I call them toilet trolls because that's what I figure they're doing. You know, most trolls are trolls of opportunity because it's too easy. I mean, even me, I troll people like this, like, you're too dumb to be ashamed of what you're doing, and then I cut, you know, that kind of stuff. That's what I do. Like, did your parents raise you to do this? That's how I troll. But the pro version, right? The pro version, it says we have a very bad connection. What do you mean? I got a great connection. I got like 25 megabits upload. Pro version and standard version. Standard version, you can look at any broadcast, you can look at any chat, but you can't chat unless you log into some kind of service like Twitter, Facebook, Google, or VK. The pro version gives you the broadcast button. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. And have the rules known up front, very straightforward what the rules are, and have everybody, you know, sign up for it when they get the pro version, and if they violate it, then they get it yanked. You know, get warnings and stuff. All they have to be set up properly, though. You get warnings and so forth, but then you get it yanked and you can't get it back. And so money will separate the trolls. Money will separate the trolls. They won't want to risk losing that just to control somebody. And the great part about it is, you know, it's like this. Nobody who's in the mood for porn goes to Disney. So once people realize that that content is not on broadcast, they're just going to bypass it completely. It won't even be on their radar. They will automatically go to Periscope to troll. Automatically go to Periscope at night. I call it peril scope because you're taking your life in your hands at night. or Pornoscope. That's where they're going to go. They're going to go someplace else. That is really the whole point of doing it this way, is to establish what it is very clearly, so people know that it's not going to fly there, and they're just going to leave. They're not going to hang around because there's nothing there. There's no community for them. See, on Periscope, all the pedophiles gang together, and they moderate people trying to help. They mark their comments as abuse, and so they're all ganging together, and that, you know. So if that whole element isn't there, then that's what we want. The other thing too is there should be super moderators too. Oh, Henry says I have to take care of what and watch what I write. My mom watches her streams now since I installed YouTube on her phone. Oh, well, hi Henry's mom, how are you? You should be proud of Henry. He's a good man, and he actually does something to benefit mankind, which is great in his job. Excuse me. Okay, I lost it. Sorry, what was I just saying? That was a good point you made, Henry. What was I just saying? Somebody help me. Somebody help me. It's Bernardo typing, not you. Okay, I understand. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. It's Bernardo. Okay, sorry. You know what? Oh, it is Bernardo. Oh, my eyes. My eyes. Sorry, Bernardo. Bernardo said he has to watch what he writes. Okay, sorry, Henry. That wasn't you. Sorry. Hey, bud. How you doing? Nice to have you with us. All right. Got most of the gang here. You know, I've been missing Coco lately. Coco's been really busy. She's busy with her new house. And Ken's not in today. Matt and Matthew. Matthew came on earlier. I wonder if he's still here. And there's always people that I forget about. But I think it's too late for Dave because he's in Japan. Yeah, it's like 20 minutes after midnight in Japan. He's got to go to work, so I don't expect him to show up tonight. And Matthew's still here. Great. Okay, cool. Because it says on the app, it says there's 4 people watching, and that's impossible because, you know, I can tell you right now there's 5 people at least. So it's kind of funny. So Jevons did a scope the other day. Yep. What was it about? By the way, I deleted Periscope again, so the only way that I see the scopes is in Twitter. And so I just look at my Twitter stream, and whomever I'm following, if there's a Periscope, you know, stream that they did, it'll be embedded in there. But Jevons has been doing a lot of mountaineering lately. It's pretty cool. He's been up in the highlands. Ann says didn't look interesting. Okay, sorry about that. He's been mountain climbing a lot and hiking and popping out on the other side and showing the vista down into the ocean on the east side a lot. That was pretty cool. Now, there was something we were talking about. Gosh, I want to get back to it because anyway, we've all been talking about Periscope for a long time and things that we would do to change it to make it better, and how, you know, Twitter wasn't listening and stuff, you know, and should have stayed on. Well, there you go. So if we can get broadcast back in action, then we'll have a platform that you can make suggestions to, and people will listen. And that's going to be a prerequisite of the software team. And the software team was like that anyway. I mean, you guys saw that. A lot of the comments that people were making, and they're trying hard to get it running on all platforms. It's just Eric's phone is, I don't know. Yes, it is. It is. It's scooters back here, all scooters. I got my bicycle down here, no scooter. Eric had the only phone that would not broadcast. I guess Ann had the second one. Excuse me. So we're going to pitch in and buy Eric a new phone, I guess. Now that Eric's working, though, he might actually get a new phone himself. So we're glad to hear that Eric's working now. So what's going on this week? The week of the 13th, Kaspar Koch is coming back. Dr. Koch, you guys know him. Our friend Kaspar is coming back on the 13th. I'm not sure how long he's going to stay for, but he's really serious about coming here again to this area. And a funny story happened the other day. Kaspar is working on a Periscope meetup here in Taiwan in January, and then JL's coming. Dr. D's talking about coming, not sure. JL's bringing another person from the States, and I'm not sure exactly who. There's a couple more people that are coming. They're big time scopers that everybody knows, and they're coming to Taiwan with Kaspar. Now, one of the things that they want to do is, mosquito, they want to come here. Now, you guys know why they want to come here. They want to go in front of the iconic, window with all the Vietnamese and Chinese writing on it for late night and sit there and do a late night show, right? Like you guys have seen a million times when John Sabo's been here, and Jevons and Yuka, and Kaspar's been here before, and I mean, you name it, right? And they've been here. John Ho's been here, right? So hey, Henny, hey Shirley, how you doing? Sorry. And yeah, so that's what we're going to do. So now here's the funny story. So John Sabo met this guy in Taipei, and it turns out that he owns, yes, it is. It is a landmark, yes. Oh, okay, you fell asleep. It is a landmark, right. John Sabo ran into this Taiwanese guy that has a tour company, and it turns out that Kaspar is working with this guy to help him with the tour arrangements for all this, for these scopers coming over, right? And so the guy says to John, he says, there's just one thing that I don't understand. And John's like, what's that? He goes, they want to go to a little Vietnamese restaurant in Huco, and I can't understand why any tourist would want to go to a place like that. And they busted out laughing. And John was telling me that story, and he was dying laughing telling me that story. So he told him what the deal is. But the truth is, yeah, nobody would come here. If I didn't live here and hadn't been doing these broadcasts all this time and all these different platforms, and made this place iconic, yeah, nobody would come here. So that was the big joke. Why would anybody want to go to because this is not a tourist place at all. You guys know it's not. And you've seen me walk around, and there's no English services here. Although I will say this, I did do another menu for Win-Win, and she had me email it to the printer, so they will have an English menu, and when JL and them get here, it'll be in English. But knowing JL, by this time he probably knows Chinese. So JL knows like 9 languages. He's amazing. He knows Thai. He's astonishingly linguistic. And a lot of those European guys are. Even Kaspar speaks 3 languages, so, and he's learning Chinese too, so that'd be a 4th one. It's pretty cool. So, all right, take care, Ann. Thanks for joining us, and I appreciate it. Nice to see you. And say hi to everybody. Take care. So yeah, there it is. So in January they're coming here, and it's going to be a really nice meetup, and we're going to meet in front of the place. And Win-Win already knows about it, but I'm going to, when it gets a little closer to it, I'll give her the exact dates. And we're going to be in front of the, the big window. Actually, Win-Win wants to do a new layout on the window, and she wants to put, in English, that they have an English menu up and stuff. I got a dry erase marker one night and wrote all over the window and wrote everything that we want on it, and she agrees with it. And we're going to put Late Night with MJ Klein on it too, on the window. That's going to be cool. So people will wonder what in the world that is. But more and more it's... Okay, we're back. We had a little reconnection problem. Okay, so as I was saying, Walter Winchell did a radio program from table number 50, I think it was. And so I'm doing a live stream from table number 10. So every once in a while, if you hear me refer to table number 10, that's what that is. Number 10 is where I sit at all the time, outside doing live streaming from Win-Win's place. So it looks like we have lost everybody. Yep. Okay. We're back now. We had a little reconnection problem. I don't know why. I've got a strong connection. I've got a very strong upload signal. It's like 25 megabits. But it likes to mess up. Welcome everybody. Welcome to part 2. Yeah, we had a reconnection problem, so anyway, so that's the deal with Caspar and his group coming in January. But he's going to be here, I guess, the 13th, the week of the 13th, and no, for sure the week of the 13th. I'm just not sure when he's going to come here. So we're making arrangements for him to come here, and he's also working on a scheme to be able to move to Taiwan and stay here. So that would be really cool, because we could definitely use more people like him in Taiwan. He would be good for the country and, you know, good for the economy. That's 360 win, I guess what they call it. So, all right, you guys still with me? Still here? Because we had a little reconnection. What happens is when the app goes into reconnect, it takes a long time for it to reconnect. So I always kill the app, restart it, and then resume the stream, and it starts right away. That's the easiest way to do it. Okay, thanks. I appreciate it, Matthew. Yeah, that's the easiest way to do it, is to just kill the app and restart. So I'm probably not going to be on again until Thursday my time, Thursday night my time, Wednesday USA time. And yeah, some activity going on. Everybody's inside because it's too cold, so I got the whole place to myself. There's nobody out here yakking. It's great. So let's say good night, wrap this up. Thanks for joining everybody, and I'm gonna look at the replay and see how bad some of the options, or some of the what am I trying to say, that, you know, way we're presenting and talking about the different types of trolls we're trying to stop, and some of the methodologies for stopping them. I want to see how unreasonable or how reasonable that sounds on the replay. So you guys take care, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for joining. I really appreciate it. Have a good afternoon or morning or evening wherever you are. I'll see you now. Take care.